Hey guys, what's up? What's happening? Chelsea L coming to you from the salon today. Here's the thing. When I get on here and I talk a mess about a mess, the fact that you guys sit here and listen amazes me. And it's not because I don't have important things to say, but it's just wild that we get to do this. Like we can have a full-blown conversation with one another or each other, and it's not a conversation. You guys get to listen to me talk and I get to listen to you talk. We get to share this collective wisdom, right? And so tonight I am going to talk a little bit more about sobriety and recovery, the beauty that is coming through my own experience. Things in life are really good and really beautiful, and that does not mean that it's not without hardship. I just have way more gratitude for the hard times and the difficult times, right? And so we're not recording in my office today, tonight, just because the kiddos are sleeping. And so we're at the salon because it can be a quiet, safe space that I don't need to disrupt the children and right? So I go to AA meetings multiple times a week, and these meetings are life-changing, mainly just because of the individuals that I get to encounter, the wisdom that I get to hear and share with these people from their own lived experience. And then if I feel like it, sometimes I share my lived experience. But it's weird. I have really had to work through, because it's a lot easier for me to do this, whether it's like in my car, sharing on TikTok or whatever. It's a lot easier for me to talk into my phone alone by myself than it is for me to share in a whole room full of people, okay? And so I read something out of the big book today, and it was crazy, crazy, crazy. That book is divine inspired. Wisdom does not even begin to cover it or touch it. And so the thing that I was reading about was talking about how we use alcohol to mask, and we become a version of ourselves that we don't really know and we don't really recognize it, and it kind of just slips away. I wish that I had my big book in here because I would just read it to you guys, but that's out in the car and we're not doing it right now. So we're going to summarize it up. Anyways, this was a girl from the country. She had moved to the city. She engaged in drinking and partying, and she had convinced herself that she could handle just like social drinking, right? And I go like, oh my God, is this my fucking story? Like, I'm from the country, moved to the city, really didn't think that I had much of a drinking problem. And then,
Hey, did you like your hair, baby?
oh my God. And then I discovered that I could not just have one drink. It was all of the drinks. It was every last bit of alcohol at that party. I would drink until I was blackout drunk every single time, and then wake up the next day so sick I couldn't function, would still have to go to work, go to school, get through and do my thing, which I handled pretty well. It's pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I achieved as much as I did under those circumstances blows my mind often. I'm like, imagine what I could have done if I really would have applied myself, you know? Instead, I had convinced myself that that's who I was. That's normal life. That's what you do. That's what I grew up seeing. And you are in the scene, you do the things. I didn't realize there was other options, I don't think. And honestly, if you would have presented other options to me, that being sober and raw dogging life was like the way and the thing, I probably would have laughed in your face and said, under no moon do I intend to do that, or do I want to participate in that? I love this crazy life. I love the things that I do. I love who I am. I love the friends that I have. When all of that was just like a false sense of security and a false sense of reality, I literally just have started unpacking this year. I'm 35, almost 36 years old, you guys. I don't even like saying that out loud, but I just started unpacking this year the false sense of self that I created to protect myself. And that is what I have been living out for a very long time. Very long time. And so reconnecting with my authentic self is one of the most beautiful things. When I shared in the meeting tonight, I talked about what I had read in the big book and what that meant to me, blah blah blah, whatever. But the thing is being able to get to know myself and my authenticity and being embodied for the first time in a very long time. And I attribute some of that to having children. Okay, so I have 4 babies, which means that I have been pregnant and breastfeeding for 8 to 10 years. Okay, that's a really long time. That's a lot of hormone shifts and changes. That's a lot of life shifts and changes. In addition to that, we've been in and out of relationships. Like, there has been a lot of upheaval and destruction and start over and restart and then start from ground zero again and restart and have a relapse and all kinds of shit that has taken place in that time frame, right? So I've just been disembodied. And when we talk about being disembodied, what this a good analogy for it is walking around with your head on a balloon. You know, a lot of times we are thinking about past things that have happened. We're thinking about future things that are going to happen, but we are not often rooted in the here and the now, in this present moment, because we're trying to escape it for whatever reason that is. And so being embodied and living presently in this moment, I have started to remember things that I forgot to know about myself, and getting to re-know myself it's really fun. I really like it a lot. Sometimes I'm sad about it because I have slept on myself for a very long fucking time, and there was no reason to run from the person that I am or I was. And it's sad to me that I wanted to escape my reality, because my reality is really beautiful. My life is really beautiful. My children are really beautiful. Who I am as an individual, very beautiful. And so I've really had to show up, deconstruct everything. And when you deconstruct, that means you need to lay a new foundation and you reconstruct off of that. Okay. So we are in the reconstructing phase. We are putting pillars in. It's super cool. There's things about it though that make me feel like I'm so far behind in life. I'm like at the ripe age of 35, almost 36 years old, having 4 kids. Like there's stability in my life now that I haven't had for quite some time, but I feel like I should have this shit figured out by now. Like I shouldn't be doing these things. And I know I shouldn't compare it to people around me, but I see people that have had really long marriages or really long relationships, or they've owned a home for a very long time. And I'm like, I have continued to traumatize myself and re-traumatize myself and traumatize and re-traumatize myself 7 more times over again and rebuild and have to build and rebuild again. Um, and I'm like, what is this? What is this? Why, like, the chaos? What is this? Why? Why do I choose these individuals? Like, I've started asking all the hard questions. And honestly, like, sobriety is one thing. When you step into recovery, it's a whole nother. Like, I have 5 years sobriety that I just celebrated on February 15th. But I have a year of recovery, like hardworking recovery, where I showed up in the rooms of AA and I decided to get a sponsor and start working the steps. And it's a whole story you guys have heard on my previous podcasts or videos that I've talked, whether it's my TikTok talks or on here. My life has changed so dramatically in the last year. I have changed so dramatically in the last year, but for the first time in a really long time, like, I like it here. And a lot of that has been me slowing down, not continuing to re-traumatize myself. And the reason why we do that is because we don't know how to rest in the peace. We are addicted to chaos. And even when you are sober, okay, you still have an addict and an alcoholic brain. Until you work on that mindset and that mentality, you are going to continue some of the same patterns. You are going to be acting out of your trauma brain and your wounding, and it's a whole thing. My experience might be different. Your experience might be different. I just speak from my lived experience with the hope that it resonates with somebody, okay? If that's not your story, don't make it fit. If it is your story, you're in the right place. Anyways, not re-traumatizing yourself is a really beautiful thing, but that means you need to relearn your life habits, your patterns from the ground up, of getting to know what your belief systems, your morals, your values, your standards are. And I thought I had that shit on lock. Okay. I was like, oh, without question, this is where I'm at. This is what I believe. This is, And then I was like, that was my false sense of self that held on to that and believed that stuff and had all that like on lock, right? Turns out it was pretty fluid anyways, like depending on the situation and what I needed from it or what I wanted from it. Like I can still say like there was still the version of me that is authentically me that existed within all of those places, but where I'm at now, much different. The way that I make decisions and choices now, much different. The way that I be setting boundaries, much different. And it is beautiful to be in this place. Like, absolutely glorious. But I feel like I have new legs. Yeah. Like, we're like first day on your new legs. So we're walking this shit out. And there's things that, like, I know that I have inherently believed to be true. And I'm finding verbiage for those things and really living in it and, like, embodied in it and executing it in my everyday life, in the way that I show up and how I talk to people and how I correct myself and how I exist within my community. You move differently. And I don't know, it's a cool experience, you guys. It's a really cool experience. But anyways, I want to talk about something, and that, like, there's so many beautiful things happening in my life. My children, absolutely amazing. Okay, my son just turned 10. How the fuck I have a 10-year-old, I have no idea, but he just hit double digits. And there's having 4 kids is a lot of kids. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot. And I tell people this all the time, like, collectively, I can hang fine. I'm like, they're all clothed, they're all fed, they're all bathed, they're all this, they're all that, right? But when you break it down, each individual has different needs on a psychological level, on an educational and academic level, on a social level. And that's where the complexities come out. Okay? Because I am the everything for these kids. And their one co-parent shows up beautifully. Anyways, so I can't say I'm the only one because I do have help and assistance. Okay. Anyways, it is a lot to handle. And then you throw on businesses on top of that. Okay. You throw on careers, and then you throw on other relationships, friendships, and your mother, daughter, sister relationships, familial, like all of these things. And things get very complicated very quick. They get very messy very quick. I don't have energy for much of anything. Okay. And so your energy is currency, and you need to protect that shit with everything you fucking have. This is a hard lesson that I have learned this year. Nah, well, part of last year into this year, in a way that literally it ruptured my life, but it brought me to my knees in the most beautiful way, in the place that I need to be, and took me out of some habits and patterns that were not serving me well. And I am eternally grateful for the people that were involved in that, the situation, how it went down. Could have been handled differently for sure, but we're at where we're at because of it. And I have nothing but gratitude. Still got some shit to say, still got some shit to talk, but there's mainly gratitude there. Okay. Anyways, the beauty that I am experiencing in my life due to that was the catalyst. All that pain was the catalyst to get me here. Like, fucking cool. Let's do it again. Not really though, universe. Like, I don't want to go through that shit again. But I'm grateful for the growth and the development. And so to be in this place that I'm in now, this is really what I want to talk about, is the transformation that happens when you step outside of the trauma vortex and you start living in your healing vortex. I cannot explain to you the relationships that have opened up, the way that my relationships with my children have flourished, my relationship with myself. Like, my everyday life is so packed full of adventure and laughter and joy and configuring and reconfiguring and feelings and emotions, and like fully present. I am living life to the fullest, and it is one of the coolest things ever because I get the opportunity to do this, where before, like, I didn't want to. Like, I wasn't actively participating in life. I was showing up bare minimum. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to pursue my career. I was like dismal on my goals, which is insane, you guys. This life is so beautiful. And there are days, don't get me wrong, especially when the hormones be doing the hormone things, right? Where I'm fed up and I have hard days, but I am making a effort to live in every day where I'm focusing more on the good than I am the bad, the healthy than the unhealthy. Like we're not looping, we're not doing this oh god, I forget what it's called. Looping is the best word that I can come up with right now. But I catch myself very quickly because I've worked very hard to master my mind. I have put in so many hours, so much time in meditation, in prayer, in journaling, in all of these ways in my sacred quiet time, which I don't get a lot of. Like I said, energy is currency, and I don't get a lot of quiet time, but when I do, I maximize that shit. I have more energy overall physically in my body. My brain is clear. My finances are better. Like my careers are growing. My companies are growing in ways that I like mind blown. Absolutely mind blown. And I attribute all of this, you guys, to my recovery. All of it. Sobriety is one thing. You guys will hear me talk about this all the time, and I can talk about it. I am qualified to talk about it because I've lived on both sides of this, okay? I was sober for 7 years, I relapsed, and now I've been sober for 5, and I've worked recovery for 1 out of those 12 years of sobriety that I've had in my life. The difference is night and day. Absolutely shocking when you dedicate yourself, and I attribute part of it to my trauma therapist as well, okay? But that goes hand in hand with your recovery. I literally, my brain is a different brain. And thank God for neuroplasticity. Like the way that I have gotten so obsessed with neurobiology and oh, it's so good. It's so good. Like in my free time, the stuff that I be reading, the podcasts that I be listening to, like it would probably make half of y'all dry up and you're like, what the fuck? Like, why do you listen to this? But I'm obsessed with it. I can't help it. I love it. I've always loved psychology and sociology. And so it's just a thing. It is. And it's pretty cool because some of the certifications that I've gotten when it comes to neuroscience, like I'm like, is this just the tip of the iceberg? Like I wish that I could go and get my PhD. Like right now I'm like, I don't have 8 years to dedicate to this, and I especially can't do it with my 4 kids and the ones that I still have at home. But I'm like, is this on the horizon? Because I would not mind having a PhD and studying interpersonal neurobiology. Obsessed with it. Love it. How our brains work in addiction and how we desire connection. Like, fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Anyways, I'm showing up with more joy, more gratitude, more excitement. So the next thing that I want to address and talk to you guys about is the podcast and what's happening with that. I have been shooting from my hip now for over a year when it comes to the podcast thing. And I have also dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome about it. Cause I'm like, who am I? And I do that with the nonprofit too. I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like some small town washed up drunk, like to do this. And I'm like, no, like you are qualified to do this and you are going to do this. And so I'm super excited to launch that. We are going to be doing it official, like officially official. And you can't rush perfection, right? So it's taking some time to build out the set and do all of the things. But my podcast mommy and daddy is what I'm going to call them. I didn't get their permission to call them that yet, but that's what I'm going to call them. They are some of the most generous, kindest, fascinating individuals. I'm so happy that I got to connect with them, but they have lent me space in their space to do this. We're doing the dang thing. And so, well, actually this Saturday too, I'm going to be on someone else's podcast. This will be the second podcast that I've been featured on, and it feels good. It feels cool. It's very nerve-wracking though, but I'm here to share my story. I open up in vulnerability. Sometimes I have to be careful because I'm like too much of an open book and say some wild shit. But I'm super stoked for you guys to get to know the people that I know and just to share the information that I've gotten to learn, because I'm very blessed that I've gotten to learn this stuff, and I'm very blessed that I get to sit here and share it with you. In part because I am in recovery and sobriety, and I did not think that I could live my life this free and clear and also be this joyful and happy. And then the other part because I survived and overcame some heinous shit that I did not think that I was a survivor to. I have run and fought the DV situation. I've run and fought the victimhood and the survivor and all of that. And then one day it hit me like a fucking train. Like, nope, you are a survivor. You got to walk out of a room that some women don't get to walk out of. You got to walk out of a situation that a lot of women don't get to leave. And you did it in a way that can help a lot of other individuals. And so, in so many ways, I discredit and am like, I have no room to be sharing about this, to be talking about this. And then I have to stop and recognize and work on that retraining of my brain and talking to myself nicely and giving myself the credit and support that I do deserve, that I've worked really fucking hard to be here. I have fought like hell to get to where I'm at today, not in just having my career and my salon and my kids and the stability and safety that we have. Like, even that as a basic need, that was hard fought. Okay. That, through all the trauma, through the adverse life experiences, to just have the safety and security, like, that is everything to me. Everything to me. And then to go above and beyond that and have a community that is absolutely incredible, mind blowing. These women that I am surrounded by are, like, I have no words for these humans, these individuals that have been brought to me on a golden platter, it feels like. And then the wisdom, the inherent female, oh, I don't have words. Absolutely incredible. The companies, all of it. So we're celebrating good things. We are overjoyed. We're happy. We're in disbelief a lot of the time. I wake up, we do our meditations, and I literally all the time, I'm like, this is my life. And this is really cool that this is my life, because for a long time, I did not even want to show up and live my life. So I'm gonna cut this short. Usually I will talk for 45 minutes to an hour, but my phone's only at 7%. And at this point, I'm kind of just talking. Like, that's it. I'm here to share. I'm here to love. I hope you guys got something out of what I talked about tonight. Follow me on TikTok, Chelsea Danger. And there's going to be some cool shit that's coming down the pipeline. I did want to talk to you guys about the single wife life or the wife in waiting, but I think I'm going to wait to have that discussion for, another time. Just where I have more well-rounded thoughts about it, but the stuff that's coming in regards to that is meant, like, it is cool. So, thank you guys for being here, and we'll catch you on the flip flop.